The following content is created by DrAvitech. Your support and donation will help me continue to offer high-quality educational resources for free. To make a donation, send an email to 6drcyril@gmail.com or comment donations below. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the second series. So this is the second video I'll be making about the possible questions you can see in your exam. Now, I am not just making this out of, should I say, I don't just know videos to make, but every single year, I try my best to make sure that I, think and see how I can help students. Now, here's one thing you need to remember. University of Benin, the questions they ask currently, they go around this part. Algebra and trigonometry, take note, algebra and trigonometry, calculus, then statistics and probability. These are the parts they pay attention to. However, this part looks like the whole of maths because algebra is very broad. So even start with, I've already made a video about algebra. This very video too, this is still algebra. Almost every single topic you know, it's algebra. So like it contains a whole lot of things. So algebra and trigonometry is a compulsory must. Then you're going to have calculus. Then you're going to have statistics and probability. So it all depends on what they choose to do. But that's like, they've always, prioritized on algebra, trigonometry, and calculus. Then we now have statistics and probability. So let me get started. This is the second video. So remember to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it across to your course mates. So for this very first one, the first question on this very video says if f of x is equal to s cubed plus 5s squared minus 9x minus 18, find f of minus 1. So it has to find the value of f of minus 1. So this topic is called functions. And, I just remembered something. I didn't add. Anyway, then I'll make the equation 21 because I have 20 equations here. Then I have to make the equations 21. Now, please take note. I might mix up numbering. Yeah, I might forget numbering, but it's still going to be the same. So this is what we have for first question. So this one is very simple. This one is very simple. It's not difficult. So we have f of x as 2s cubed plus 5s squared minus 9x minus 18. So we have to find this f of minus 1. So what we're going to do is, anywhere we see x, we're going to put minus 1. Because if this is f and this is f, what's in this bracket would also be equal to this. So s is equal to minus 1. So anywhere you see x, basically, you're going to be putting minus 1. So this is 2 into minus 1 cubed plus 5 into minus 1 squared minus 9 into minus 1. And then minus 18. Now this is 2. Minus 1 cubed is minus 1. And then plus 5. Minus 1 squared is plus 1. Minus times minus 1 will give me plus 9. And then minus 18. 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. Plus 5. Plus 9. Minus 18. Minus 2 plus 5 is 3. 3 plus 9 is 12. 12 minus 18 is minus 6. So that's the first one. So that's how you solve for the first problem. So this one is actually simple. You're asked to find the value of a function. Okay, so the next one, you could also say this is the value of a polynomial. So it all depends. Because a polynomial can be written as that, then you're asked to find that value. The second one, I'm trying my best to not talk so much so that I don't make this video very, very long. So this very one says, if f of x minus 2 is equal 4s squared plus x plus 7, you have to find f of 1. Now, as you can see, this question is actually similar to the first one. It is similar, but there's a problem. You notice that in this very bracket, this was just f of x, but this one is f of x minus 2. Now, when you notice something like this, what you have to do is, remember I said that the brackets will be the same. So in this case, you're going to say these brackets are the same. So x minus 2 is equal to the 1 in this very bracket. Then you solve for x. So this is 1. If this minus 2 goes, it becomes plus 2. So s will then become 3. So that's what you're going to be putting s as. So f of x minus 2 is equal to 4s squared plus x plus 7. So we have f of 1. Now, but x is what? 3. Now, I think a better way to explain this is, this f of x minus 2 means the function is defined by x minus 2. But the thing is, they've simplified the function. They've simplified the function. So you're not seeing the s minus 2 anymore. You're just seeing a single x. So it means s minus 2 is equal to 1, but there's no x minus 2 here. Instead, you need to solve for x. So after solving for x, we're having 3. So you need to put in 3. So this will be 4 bracket 3 squared plus 3 plus 7. So this is 4 into 3 squared is 9 plus 3 plus 10. Sorry, 3 plus 7 is 10. Okay, so 4 times 9 is 36 and then plus 10. So this is 46. So that's what the second question would be. Yeah, that's what the second question would be. Let's move on to the third one, please. The third one. Okay, number 3. I'm going to add an extra to this because I actually have to do so. If s is equal to 1, if s equal to 1 is a root of the equation, they've asked this question before, is a root of the equation s cubed minus 2s squared minus 5x plus 6, find the other root. Now, if they ask you to find the zeros of an equation, it also means you should find the roots. So zeros also mean that. Or I think sometimes they even say, at what point does the equation vanish? They've used that before, but that's a long time ago. So whenever that thing is used, it means you are asked to find the roots. So what we're going to do here, this is actually polynomials. What you want to do is, this is a cubic expression, it's cubic. And you don't have a calculator in the exam. If you had one, you would have been able to just use the cubic function to solve it. But since you don't have, you need to use the longer way. So if x minus 1 is a root, if s equal to 1 is a root, this means when you take the 1 over, this will be x minus 1 equal to 0. So this means x minus 1 is a factor. This x minus 1 is a factor means x minus 1 can divide this whole expression and there will be no remainder. So let's divide. So we're going to use long division. Now that's 2. We're going to use long division. So we have s cubed minus 2s squared minus 5x and then plus 6. Then this is x minus 1. So let's start dividing. S cubed divided by x is s squared. Then s squared times s is s cubed. S squared times minus 1 is minus s squared. Then we'll subtract. And let me just put everything. We subtract. S cubed minus s cubed is 0. So minus 2s squared minus s squared. And this will be plus. This will be plus. So minus 2s squared plus s squared is just minus s squared. Then you bring these guys down. Minus 5x plus 6. And let's divide again. Minus s squared divided by x is minus x. Now this minus s with times is 2. Minus x times x is minus s squared. Minus s times minus 1 is plus x. Then we subtract. Again, these two things are exactly the same. They're exactly the same. So when you subtract, it's gone. Then these two, 5 minus 5x minus plus x. Minus plus is minus. So you have minus 5x minus x. So that will be minus 6x. Then you bring this plus 6 down. We're going to divide again. Minus 6x divided by this very x will be minus 6. So minus 6 times x is minus 6x. And then minus 6 times minus 1 is plus 6. And these two things are exactly the same. So if you subtract, you get 0. And that's like the whole idea about everything. So this is your, in polynomials, the guy inside is called a polynomial. This one outside, dividing it is called a divisor. This guy here is called remainder. This guy here, the answer we got after dividing is called quotient. Polynomials have a particular formula. A polynomial is equal the quotient times the divisor plus remainder. That's the formula for a polynomial. So it's quotient times divisor plus remainder. I don't think they normally ask that, but a question can come from that. So we have this. To find the other roots, what we're going to do to find the other roots is we're going to be factorizing this expression. So we have s squared minus x minus 6. We're going to say this is equal to 0. Now ask yourself, what would you times to get minus 6? At the same time, you get minus invisible 1. So the number should be minus 3 and plus 2. So minus 3 and then plus 2. So you have, yeah, that's it. So this is s equal, just use the shortcut, change the sign here. This will be 3 or 2. I basically use this shortcut. Whenever I'm doing quadratic equations, if I get the numbers, to get the final answer, I'll change the sign. After changing the sign, I will not divide by the coefficient of s squared. But the coefficient of s squared here is 1. So if you divide by 1, you still get the same thing. Oh, this 2 here has to be minus, because it was plus 2 before, so it has to be minus. So that's it. That's your other roots. So the other root will be s equal to 3 or minus 2. Though the minus 2 can come first. So the option can be minus 2 or 3. So it all depends. So that's for number 3. Number 4. Number 4. Let's see. Okay. This one is easy. Find the remainder. Find the remainder when, this one is basic for JAM. When the polynomial f of x equal 2s squared minus 5x minus 5 is divided by 2x plus 1. Now, after your JAM exam, here's what I will advise. After your JAM exam, here's what I will advise. Because I'm going to start teaching topics. I'm not just doing questions, topics. So you really understand how things work. Because before you appreciate, you are about to go into the university. A very important ability you need to learn is how to solve problems. And you need that for your career too. So you cannot do that without appreciating the beauty of mathematics. Many of us don't really, I'm not talking about me myself, but most students don't know how beautiful it is. They're just involved in, let me just know the shortcut, solve my equation, and then move ahead. So, but we'll get the best. We'll see what we can do. So, you need to come back to the channel and start watching up videos. I always say something, I always say this. There's really no rest. You just need to keep on studying. So this very one, we all know that to find remainder, we're going to say let the divisor be equal to 0. Since this thing is divided by this, we're going to say let this equal to 0. So the 2x plus 1, let it equal to 0. So this means that 2s equal to minus 1, then s is equal to minus 1 over 2. Because after making it equal to 0, you need to solve for x. So if you solve for x, s will be equal to minus 1 over 2. So this is what you have. But ladies and gentlemen, there are conditions when I can do this. We're going to see so in the next question. That's why I included the next question. So when you're done with this, you're going to put this very value into the polynomial. So we have f of x equal to s squared minus 5x minus 5. So we're going to have f of minus 1 over 2. I was telling someone that if I were to be the one setting Postutme equations, it would be very, very simple, but kind of difficult. If I say find the remainder, what I would ask you, my answer will not be in terms of a number. My answer will be in terms of this f. So I'll say, is it f of minus 1 over 2, f of 1 over 2? It will be very, very simple. But most persons do not know how to represent their remainder like this. So this is the remainder. F of minus 1 over 2 is the remainder. But let us now find the value of that remainder. So this will be 2. Anywhere we see s, we're going to be putting minus 1 over 2 squared, minus 5 into minus 1 over 2, and then minus 5. Now this will be 2 if you square this, minus 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4. And then minus here will give us plus. 5 times 1 is 5, and then over 2 minus 5. Now 2 here is 1, 2 here is 2. So this will be 1 over 2 plus 5 over 2 minus 5. Now I think this is actually very simple. Since these two guys have the same denominator, I can just add the top. 1 plus 5 is 6. So this will be 6 over 2 minus 5. 6 over 2 is 3 minus 5. And 3 minus 5 is minus 2. So this is your remainder. You don't need to go through the long division in this case. You need to go through the long division. Now, number 5. Let's see what that has for us. Okay. Oh, where's this question? Okay. Find the remainder. Find the remainder when s cubed plus 7s squared minus x minus 7 is divided by... Now, this question kind of showed up before in Postutme, but they were not asking you to find remainder, they were asking you to find quotient. So I kind of turned it around to explain a particular point, s squared plus 2. To explain a particular point. That's why I did it like this, to explain a particular point. So you're asked to do this, you're asked to divide. There are rules for division. There are things you don't divide. Like, there's a place you stop dividing. Yeah, let me put it like that. There's a place you stop dividing. When we are at this part, if this was s squared, for example, if this was s squared, for example, if this was s squared, I would end my division here. I would end my division here because I cannot say 6x divided by s squared. The only reason I kept on dividing is because I could divide by the x here. I could divide by the x here. So let me give you a scenario. If you had square here, and at this point, this was all we had, this was our expression. All we ought to do was to say minus 6s divided by s squared. Minus 6s divided by s squared. But this will not perfectly cancel out. You'll be having minus 6 over x. And from the definition of polynomials, this is not a polynomial. So this is not a polynomial. So you cannot do your division. Whenever you are dividing, you stop dividing when the divisor has a higher power. So you don't divide, you don't go beyond that part. So here now, the top has the power of 1, the bottom has the power of 2. So you are going to stop your division. So let me come here, let me explain. Now the ideal thing to do is to say, since we want to still use this approach, when I was still in school, secondary school, I would see this problem. What I would just go straight to using long division. But I found out that, well, I could actually still manipulate that. So I could say this is s squared plus 2 equal to 0. Same process. Then this is s squared equal to minus 2. But if you notice, I can't really take the square root. To start with, this very equation, if it's given to you, they can give you minus 1 here, and you'll be tricked into solving for x. But you don't need to solve for x because you can't divide by x. You can't. So you are going to stop at s squared. So this s squared, keep this s squared here. Keep the s squared here. Let me go back to my explanation again. So you get this straight. The reason I'm not solving for x, even if there's a time that s is possible that I can, let me just say that this negative was not here, then this was 1, and I could solve for x, I still would not solve for x because my divisor is having an s squared. I cannot divide by anything lesser than it. So my division stops where s squared stops. So I cannot go below it. I can go higher than it, but I cannot go below it. Higher means I can divide s cubed, I can divide s squared itself, but I cannot go and divide x. So I cannot solve for x. I can't solve for x. So instead I will end here. Now if s squared is equal to minus 2, do you know that I can get the value of s cubed? Yeah, I can get the value of s cubed. So let's proceed. So this is my polynomial, s cubed plus 7s squared minus x minus 7. Now this is s cubed, but I know that this s cubed here is actually s squared brackets x, because s squared times s is actually s cubed. and then plus 7s squared minus x minus 7. Now next, anywhere I see s squared is minus 2. So this is minus 2x plus 7 brackets. This is s squared again, so this is minus 2. And then we'll have minus x minus 7. And this is minus 2x. 2 times this, 7 times this is minus 14. And then minus x minus 7. So minus 2x minus x is minus 3x. Minus 14 minus 7 is minus 21. So that'll be your remainder. Yep, that is your remainder. Just like what I said here, that if you are dividing something like this with an s squared, your answer, you will end at something that has x, because you cannot divide the x. So that's why this answer is ending with an x. Okay, so that's what we have. That's the answer to that very question. You can use long division too. I think I might just do that, but there's no time. So you can just try that out on your own. Number 6. If x plus 1 is a factor of s cubed plus ms squared minus 5x minus 8, find the value of x. Value of m. Now this question is much more straightforward. This is factor theorem. So a factor theorem is actually easy. You are trying to say or trying to know what it says. Factor is saying that if you divide anything by its factor, you must get a remainder of 0. So you must get a remainder of 0. What this means is you're still going to pretend as if you're finding a remainder, but the remainder is definitely going to be what? 0, because you are dividing by a factor. You're dividing by a factor. So if s plus 1 is a factor, we're going to say this s plus 1 equal to 0. This is s equal to minus 1. So we're going to pretend as if we want to go and find the remainder. Now, the polynomial is s cubed plus ms squared minus 5x minus 8. So how do we find remainder? Anywhere we see s, we're going to put minus 1. So this is minus 1 cubed plus m into minus 1 squared minus 5 into minus 1 minus 8. But if this is the remainder, and what we're dividing by is a factor, our remainder must actually be equal to 0. It must be equal to 0. So now, minus 1 cubed is minus 1 plus m into minus 1 squared is 1. Minus 5 times minus 1 is plus 5. And then you have minus 8. So this is minus 1 plus m times 1 is m plus 5 equal to 0 minus 8 equal to 0. So this is minus 1 plus 5 is 4. 4 minus 8 is minus 4. So you have minus 4 plus m equal to 0. Now this is m equal, if you take the minus 4 to this other side, it becomes ordinary 4. So that will become your remainder. So let me wipe the board. Let's go to question number 7. Remember I said that I kind of remember that I have to put in a particular equation. So that's the equation. This was because in the year 2018, when my sister wrote Postutme, yeah, she was like, I saw one question because she was happy. Back then, biology student, because she was a life science student, or she's a life science student. So back then, they actually wrote maths, but now things have changed. So I don't think life science students write maths anymore. So she was like, she saw a question asking them to find inverse of the function. And all she had to do was to flip it. So that question was very simple. I was like, no, we know that in indices, if I have to find the inverse of a fraction, all you have to do is just flip it, like the reciprocal. Just flip the fraction. But not in this case, please. So here's what we do, please. Here's what we do as mathematicians. For functions, follow these procedures. So first, we'll say let y equal to this, s plus 3 divided by 2x minus 1. That's what we're going to do. Next, let's cross multiply. So put over 1 here. So 1 we times this. So that's 1 bracket s plus 3. Then y we times this, that's y bracket 2x minus 1. Now 1 times anything is that same thing. So this is s plus 3 Then y with times. So y times this will give us 2xy minus y. Take note that what we're trying to do here is to make x the subject of the formula. There's a technique to finding the inverse of a function. So let us make x the subject. So the first step, this f of x, remove it and put y. Then second step, make x the subject. So that's what I'm trying to do now. So to make x the subject, I'm going to take all of the x to one side. But the thing is, if I move this x to this side, and I move the 3 to this side, you notice that this part will be made up of negatives. This part will be made up of negatives. But I don't want to do that because that's not going to be looking fine. So instead of moving this x term to this side, I would instead retain it here, move this x to this side, and move the minus y to this very side. So what I'm going to be having is, if this minus y comes, I'll be having y plus 3. The 2xy will stay. Then this s comes, it becomes minus x. You know, sometimes you have to be very, very careful. I said something in the previous video, the first video I made about this whole revision stuff, that in algebra, you need to know how to manipulate. You basically need to know how to manipulate. So the advantage of seeing the future is very, very important. So this will be y plus 3 equal, now what's common here is x. So this is x bracket, 2xy divided by x is 2y, minus x divided by x is 1. Why is this looking funny? No, like seriously. This is looking very, very funny. I've not encountered this before, so let me check this. I'm going to check this question. What's going on? Okay, so y times this is 2xy. Then y times 1, this is minus y. So this minus y went here to give me this. Became plus y, then y plus 3, this. I know what I'm seeing, and I don't like it. Anyway, let's divide both sides by 2y minus 1. So when you divide both sides by 2y minus 1, this will become y plus 3 divided by 2y minus 1 equal to x. Equal to x. So what you want to do next, after making x the subject, what you want to do next is replace x with y and y with x. Replace x with y and y with x. So this will then become s plus 3 divided by 2x minus 1 equal to y. So you replace x with y, replace y with x. Now this very y you see here is now your inverse. So this is x plus 3 divided by 2x minus 1 equal f inverse of x. The reason I said something is not right is because I'm getting exactly the same answer. And it shouldn't be so. I've not really encountered any problem where I'm finding inverse of a function and I had the same answer. That's why I was checking if something is wrong. Anyway, I just believe that nothing is wrong. So maybe after this video, I'll check that out because I just brought that out from my brain. So I'll check that out later. But that's just what it's going to be, basically. Number 8, without further ado, that's the weirdest thing that's happened today. Yeah, a function, it's the inverse itself. Okay. Next question, number 8. Find the value of p. Find the value of p. Find the value of p if the line joining p, 4 and 6, minus 2 is perpendicular to the line joining 2, p and minus 1, 3. Okay, for this very problem, this is all about gradients. This is all about gradients because you need to remember that if two lines are perpendicular, the product of their gradient is minus 1. So this topic is coordinate geometry. Whenever you are dealing with perpendicular lines, the product of their gradient is minus 1. So let's find the gradient of the first line. So let's call that one M1. Formula for gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's find the gradient of the first line. So this is the first line. It's passing through this point. This is the first line. So this is x1, y1. This is s2, y2. So now, y2 is minus 2 minus y1 is 4. Divided by x2 is 6 minus x1 is p. So this will then become minus 6 over 6 minus p. So that's your m1. That's the first gradient. Now m2, the formula is still the same. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's the formula for gradient. So now, these are the two guys that we have. So this is x1, y1. This s2, y2. Okay, so y2 in this case is now 3 minus y1 is p divided by x2 is minus 1. Then x1 is 2. So this will then become 3 minus p divided by minus 3. Now I said something. After finding the gradient, if two lines are perpendicular, the product of their gradient is always minus 1. So this means m1, m2 is equal to minus 1. So what was our m1? Our m1 was minus 6 over 6 minus p times what's m2? 3 minus p over minus 3. Then this will be equal to minus 1. So minus we cancel out minus. 3 is 1, 3 is 2. So what will be left to be 2 times this. So that's 2 bracket 3 minus p. That's what we have. Divided by 6 minus p equal to minus 1. So that's what we have. Now I could put over 1 here and then cross multiply. So 1 will times this. But 1 times this will just give us the same thing. So we have 1 times 2, that's 2 bracket 3 minus p equal minus 1 with times this. So that's minus 1 bracket 6 minus p. That's what we have. Now let's expand. 2 times 3 is 6 minus 2 times p, that's 2p, equal minus 1 times 6 is minus 6. Minus 1 times minus p is plus p. Now you want to make all the p to be on one side. It does not really matter where the p goes to. It does not really matter. So this is 6. I want this minus 6 to come over to become plus 6 equal, this guy here is p. I want this minus 2p to come over to become plus 2p. 6 plus 6 is 12. P plus 2p is 3p. Definitely, if you divide both sides by 3, 12 over 3 is 4. So this means p is equal to 4. So that will be the answer to question number 8. Remember to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it across to your course mates. Okay, let's proceed. So remember, the question in the exam can just ask you to find gradients. So whenever if they say only find the gradient, this is the formula to find gradient. So question number 9. Yeah, I'm trying to minimize what I'm using on the board. So the gradient of the line joining, we've got 3 comma y and minus 1 comma minus 2 is 3 over 2. You have to find the value of y. Okay, this one is not difficult. It's still kind of the same. So we're told that the gradient of this and this is equal to this. Now, ideally, formula for gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's the formula for gradient. So this gradient here, m, is 3 over 2. So they said the gradient is 3 over 2. So this means 3 over 2 is equal y2. Let's name our point. So this is x1, y1. This is x2, y2. So y2 is minus 2 minus y1 is y divided by x2 is minus 1 minus x1 is 3. Beautiful. Okay, so this will be 3 over 2 equal minus 2 minus y divided by minus 4. And there are different ways to go about this. Since this is minus, let me do something. Okay, but this is minus. So if I use this minus to multiply this minuses here, all of the minus will just run away. So this will be 3 over 2 equal 2 plus y over 4. I can do this. If you don't understand this, you can just cross multiply, but your answer will still be the same. So the next thing I will do, normal me, if I were to be in the exam, I won't cross multiply. This is, let me not make this video long. So let's cross multiply. So this will times this. So that's 2 bracket 2 plus y equal 3 will times that. So that will be 3 times 4. Now there's no need for us to open the bracket because I can just divide by 2. So this will be 2 plus y equal 3 times 4. Let's divide by 2. So this is 2 plus y equal 3 times 4 is 12. 12 over 2 is 6. Yeah. So this will be y equals 6 minus 2. Y is then 4. So that's what the value of y would be. So that's how to solve for that. It's actually very simple. We shouldn't really be stressing ourselves so much. So that's the answer. Question 10. Let us go to question 10. So this was a past paper. This very one was a past exam. Two perpendicular lines, PQ and QR intersect at 1 comma minus 1. If the equation of PQ is x minus 2y plus 4 equal to 0, find the equation of QR. All right. Now, you've actually seen something like this before. Something like this can come outside in JAMB. Yeah. But there's a better way to write it. They'll say that find the equation of the line perpendicular to this and passing through this. Because if two lines are passing through a particular point, it means that point is common between them. Let me kind of draw this. This is P, Q, R. So these are two lines. Now these two lines, they are passing through one very point. So the point here, they gave us as 1 comma minus 1. Now since the equation of PQ was given to us, we're given the equation of PQ. The equation is x minus 2y plus 4 equal to 0. Now why did they give us this? They gave us that equation because we need to find the gradient. So let's get started. Let's find the gradient. So to find gradient, you must make y the subject of the formula. So this will be s plus 4 equal, if minus 2y goes over, it becomes ordinary 2y. Now to get the value of y, divide every single thing by 2. So this will become 1 over 2x plus 2 equal to y, because 2 we cancel at 2. Now when you are done with making y the subject, anything attached to x is the gradient. Or you can say that the coefficient of x is gradient. The coefficient of x here is 1 over 2. So this means MPQ is equal 1 over 2. Now why did I put MPQ? I put MPQ because this is the equation of what? PQ. That's the equation of what? PQ. But I'm asked to find the equation of what? QR. So if this is the equation of if this is the gradient of PQ, what will be the gradient of QR? Now, if these two lines are perpendicular, I know that M1, M2 is equal to minus 1. That's what I know. So M1, M2 is equal to minus 1. So this means that M1, which is 1 over 2, the first line, then we have M2 equal to minus 1. I could multiply both sides by 2 because this is 1 over 2. So if I times both sides by 2, so times both sides by 2, 2 we cancel out 2. So m2 is equal to minus 2. So this very m2 here is now mqr. This is now the gradient of qr. That's the gradient of what? qr. So now we can now find the equation of qr. To find the equation of a line, we're going to say y minus y1 equal m brackets x minus x1. It's still the same, please. It's still the same. I just did it straight. But this formula is still the same with the one you know. So do not be confused. It's still the same. So this is the point where they pass. This will be x1, y1. Okay. So this is y minus y1 is minus 1. So put a bracket minus 1. M is minus 2. That's the gradient, minus 2. And then x minus x1 is 1. So this is y plus 1 equal minus 2 into x minus 1. So this is y plus 1. When you open up the bracket here, this will be minus 2x plus 2. So now pick every single thing to this other side. This will be y plus 2x minus 2 and then plus 1 equal to 0. So this will be y plus 2x minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1 equal to 0. So that will be the equation you are looking for. Yep. So that's the equation that you're looking for. So let us proceed to number 11. Yep, number 11. So this is where matrix begins. If A is equal 1, 3 minus 2, 3, you have to find A inverse. Now, the formula for inverse of a matrix, let me put this in here. So inverse of a matrix is equal 1 over the determinant of that matrix multiplied by the adjoint of that matrix. So first of all, let's find determinant. To find determinant, we're going to kind of do a cross multiplication. So we're going to say 1 times 3 minus 2 times 3. So we'll have minus 2 times 3. So this will be 3 minus 6, because minus 2 times 3 is minus 6. So this will be 3 plus 6, so that's 9. So this is what my A would be. So that's what A is. Adjoint of A. To get adjoint of a 2 by 2 matrix, there's a shorter way to do it. To get the adjoint of a 2 by 2 matrix, first thing you do is swap the elements in the principal diagonal. So this is the principal diagonal. This diagonal is called the leading diagonal. If you have a rectangle, for example, the diagonal that passes like this is called leading diagonal. So you swap this diagonal. So this will be 3, 1. Then the ordinary diagonal, multiply it by minus, or you give them minus. So since there's already minus here, if you give this one minus, it will now be 2. This is 3, give it a minus, so that's minus 3. So the inverse, A inverse, is equal 1 over determinant. The determinant is 9. And then the matrix itself will be 3 minus 3, 2, 1. So this is the answer. That's the answer. But sometimes they can expand. Yeah, they can expand. Expanding means multiply every single thing here with 1 over 9. But that will now result to a fraction. But let me just do it. So this will become 1 over 3, 2 over 9, minus 1 over 3, then 1 over 9. If you cancel out, this is what you're going to get. So that's how to solve for this very equation. Let's move on to the next. Let me wipe the board. So let's solve question number 12. So we're asked to evaluate the determinant of that matrix. Basically, if you're asked to find determinant, you can use any row or any column. If I were to be in the exam, I'm going to use 106 because the 0 here means I don't need to solve for this I don't need to eliminate this part. I'll just use 1 and 6. But since we're not used to that technique, I'm not going to be displaying it here. We're already used to 1. I can tell that everybody knows how to use the first row. So let's just use the first row. So what you do is when you use your first row, this is plus, minus, plus. When you use your first row, this will be plus 2. Then eliminate the row. Sorry, this is a column. Eliminate this column, eliminate this row. What's remaining is this. So this will be 2, 0, 4, 6. Then this is minus, minus here will give us plus. So this is plus 1. Eliminate the column with your eyes, please. Eliminate this column. So this part is gone. Then eliminate the row. What will be remaining is minus 5, 1. And then 4, 6. Then this is plus minus is minus. So this is minus 3. And then if you eliminate this column, eliminate this row, what will be remaining will be minus 5, 1, 2, 0. So this is all we have. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, since we now have a 2 by 2, we can now find the determinant of the 2 by 2. So this will be 2 brackets. 2 times 6, that's 12, minus 4 times 0 is 0, plus 1 open bracket, minus 5 times 6 is minus 30, minus 4 times 1 is 4. Then minus 3 into minus 5 times 0 is 0, minus 2 times 1 is 2. You know, we've just done determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix, so it's easy to solve. So this is 2 into 12 minus 0 is just 12, plus 1 into minus 30 minus 4 is minus 34, and minus 3 into 0 minus 2 is minus 2. 2 times 12 is 24. 1 times minus 34 is minus 34. Minus 3 times minus this is plus 6. 24 minus 34 is minus 10. Minus 10 plus 6 is minus 4. So that will be the determinant of that very matrix. Let's go to the next one. Number 13. Number 13. If x1, 2, 5 is equal x2, 3, 3, you have to find x. Now in this case, it's still the same thing since it's a 2 by 2. So this will times this. S times 5, that will be 5x, minus 2 times 1 is 2, equal s times 3, that's 3x, minus 3 times 2 is 6. Now pick out the x to one side, so this will be 5x. If this 3x comes, it's going to become minus 3x, equal, this is minus 6. If this minus 2 goes, it's going to become plus 2. 5x minus 3x is 2x, minus 6 plus 2 is minus 4. Now divide both sides by 2. So this is minus 4 over 2, which is minus 2. So that's the value of x. So that one is an easy one. Question 14. So this is question 14. Here's question 14. Now for this question 14, what we're going to be doing is, it's actually simple. So you have 160 as the value of an interior angle. The first thing I always do is this. I know that the interior angle plus the exterior angle must always give me 180 degrees. So this means that the exterior angle is 180 degrees minus the interior angle. So this is exterior angle equal 180 minus, the equation tells me that the interior angle is 160. So the exterior angle is 180 minus 160 is 20. Now, even though this does not directly answer my question, but here's how it's going to answer my question. The number of sides is 360 degrees divided by the exterior angle. So we're going to have 360 degrees divided by the exterior angle is 20. Now, when 0 cancels 0, 36 over 2 is 18. So this is 18 sides. And that will just be the answer to that very question. So that's not a difficult one. Number 15. For this very question, question 15, it says that the interior angles of a quadrilateral are x plus 15, 2x minus 45, x minus 30, and x plus 10. Now, since these are interior angles, so there are angles in the inside, and they are 1, 2, 3, 4. there are 4 angles. So that's a quadrilateral. The sum of angles in a quadrilateral is 360 degrees. 360 degrees. So if you add up everything, you're going to get 360. So this means x plus, I think I can even save myself some stress. Let me just add it up by looking at this. Should I say looking at the screen? So let me add it up. Let me add the x's first. S plus 2x is 3x. 3x plus s is 4x. 4x plus s is 5x. Because sometimes you don't really need to be wasting your time. 15 minus 45 is minus 30. 15 minus 45 is minus 30. Minus 30 minus 30 again is minus 60. Minus 60 plus 10 is minus 50. And this is equal to 360 degrees. Because the sum of everything here should give you 360 degrees. So this is 5s equal 360 degrees plus 50 degrees. So this is 5s equal 360 plus 50 is 410 degrees. So this means s will then become 410 divided by 5. So s will then become 82 degrees. So that's what x would be. But does that help me out? In a way, yes. Now the equation says, it doesn't say find the value of x. It says find the value of the least exterior. To start with, remember that the angles given to you were interior. So you need to be putting this S angle into each of them, and then finding each exterior angle. But there's no time for that. So we're going to use logic. We're going to think. The interior and the exterior angle that are connected by this formula here. The exterior angle that we're looking for is 180 minus the interior angle. The exterior angle that we're looking for is 180 minus the interior angle. So now, if a problem is telling me that you need the smallest exterior, that means this interior here should be very big. Because if 180 minus a very big number, you're going to be getting a very small number here. So the interior angle must be something that is very, very big. So I always say something like this to myself. I'll say, to get the least exterior angle, use the greatest interior angle. Then to get the greatest exterior, use the least. It's like they're always opposites. But assuming the equation, because the equation could have been a lot more easy, assuming the equation says find the least interior angle. Since these are already interior angles, you just find the least here, and this will be the least. X minus 30 will be the least. By looking at it, x minus 30 will be the least. If they say find the least interior, but this one is talking about least exterior. So the first thing I want to do is to find the greatest interior. So this is 2x minus 45. So this will be 2 into 82 minus 45 degrees. 2 times 82, this should be 164. I hope I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that should be 164. Yup. And then minus 45 degrees. So let me say this is 65, for example. This will be 119. So that will be 119. Yeah, because we're supposed to have 120. So when you subtract 1, it should be 119. Now, this is your greatest interior angle. This is the greatest interior angle. Now, the least exterior angle is 180 minus interior angle. So that's 180 minus 119. And 180 minus 119 should be 61 degrees. So this will be your answer to the equation. That's your answer to the equation. Let's move on to the next one. Question 16 says the interior angle of a regular polygon is thrice, that's 3 times the exterior angle. How many sides has the polygon? So let's first write this relationship. Interior angle is 3 times the exterior angle. Now, we know that from what we've solved before, that interior angle plus exterior angle must give us 180 degrees. So now this interior angle is equal to 3 exterior. So I can remove the interior angle and write 3 exterior. So this will be 3 exterior angle plus exterior angle equal to 180 degrees. 3 exterior angle plus another extra exterior angle will be 4 exterior angles equal to 180. So to get the exterior angle, That will be 180 degrees all over 4. So this will be giving us 45 degrees. That will be giving us 45 degrees. Now the number of sides is 360 degrees divided by exterior angle. So this is 360 degrees divided by the exterior angle is 45. So this will be giving us 8. So that will be 8 sides. So that's an octagon. So that's the answer to that very equation. It's kind of similar to this one. It's kind of similar to this one. So that will be the answer to that very equation. Let's go to the next one. This very equation says if s squared minus xy minus 6y squared is equal to 0, find the values of x over y. So I don't think this is going to be difficult. So first of all, let's factorize this expression. It's factorizable because the middle is the sum of these two. S plus y will give us, let me not say it's a sum, it's a product, please. So the x and the y is correct, so you can factorize. This is minus 6, this is minus 1. So what are the two numbers you will times to give you minus 6? Add the same numbers, you get minus 1. The numbers are minus 3 and plus 2. In this case, you must factorize, please. So this is s squared minus 3xy plus 2xy minus 6y squared equal to 0. So now, between these first two guys, what's common is x. So s squared over s is x, minus 3xy over x is 3y. And then plus, between these two, what's common? Look at the numbers first. There's 2 here, there's 6 here, so 2 is common. This is xy, this is y squared, so y is common. 2xy divided by 2y is x, minus 6 divided by 2 is 3, y squared divided by y is y, equal to 0. Now, if I was doing rubbish, at this point I will know because these two brackets will not be the same. If I were to be doing rubbish, these two brackets will not be the same. But since they are the same, it means I can proceed with my factorization. So this will be x minus 3y. Then the ones outside is x plus 2y equal to 0. So what this means is any of them could have been 0. So x minus 3y is equal to 0 or s plus 2y is equal to 0. So this will be s equal, if this minus 3y goes by, it's going to become 3y. Now remember that we're asked to find x over y. So we must divide by y. So divide this thing you see here by y. So this is over y over y. So this means x over y is equal to 3 because y we cancel at y. Then on this very point, this will be s equal, if plus 2y goes, it's going to become minus 2y. Now we're going to divide both sides by y. So y we cancel y. So this means x over y is equal minus 2. So it means s over y is equal to 3 or minus 2. Yeah, so that's just it. It could have been a lot more difficult if there was a number here. Yeah, if there was a number here, it won't actually be that hard. What you have to do is to then still divide by the number you have with x. But since they did not, I don't think I should be putting that. But you should know what to do. Let me just give you something to work on. Find x over y in this equation. 4x plus 7y equal to 0. Find x over y. So that one is actually easy. So let's proceed to the next questions. Let me wipe the board. So this is question 18. It says if alpha and beta are the roots of the quadratic equation s squared minus 10x plus 2 equal to 0, you're asked to find 1 over alpha squared plus 1 over beta squared. Now this is symmetric function of roots, and it's basically your ability to, let's just solve the equation. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, since I'm using alpha and beta, I'm going to be bringing out symmetric values. And the two symmetric values we have are the sum and the product of roots. Because sum is symmetrical, then product is also symmetrical. So let's find alpha plus beta. Alpha plus beta is minus b over a. So this means alpha plus beta is minus, b here is minus 10. Because a quadratic equation is written as as squared plus bs plus c equal to 0. Then a is 1. So this means alpha plus beta is equal to 10. Because minus minus will give us plus. Minus minus will give us plus. And then that's 10. Then the next one is alpha beta, which is product, is C over A. So the C here is 2 over A is 1. So that's equal 2. Because from this quadratic equation, A is equal to 1, B is equal to minus 10, then C is equal to 2. So the first thing you do is to find alpha plus beta and alpha beta. Now what we're asked to find in the equation is we're asked to find 1 over alpha squared plus 1 over beta squared. So first, let's take the LCM. So the LCM will just be the product, so that's alpha squared, beta squared. Now, everything here, divide it by alpha squared. What will be remaining is beta squared. Beta squared times 1 is still beta squared. And then plus everything here, divided by beta squared. Beta squared will cancel beta squared. Alpha squared is remaining. Then it has to times 1. So that's alpha squared. Now this expression you see, since it's symmetric and commutative, the alpha squared can come first. So that's alpha squared plus beta squared all over. If you look at this denominator, these two guys have the same power. So this can be written as alpha beta together or squared. And the whole idea is, you see this alpha squared plus beta squared, you can't find it yet. Reason is, the only way for you to find this, the way this is written, the only way for you to find alpha squared plus beta squared is if you have individual values of alpha and individual values of beta. We know that they are the roots, but solving this problem, it won't work. It won't help you out. So in what way can I write alpha squared plus beta squared? So have alpha plus beta and alpha beta. Take note that alpha squared plus beta squared can be written as alpha plus beta all squared and then minus 2 alpha beta. Take note, it's a standard. So alpha squared plus beta squared can also be written like this. Then don't forget you have a denominator, alpha beta all squared. So this is another way to write this, because you cannot evaluate it like this, you must write it like this. Now what is alpha plus beta? Alpha plus beta is 10. So this is 10 squared minus 2 into, what's alpha beta? 2. Divided by 2 squared. So this will then become 10 squared is 100 minus 4 over 4. So let's divide. 100 over 4 is 25 minus 4 over 4 is 1. So this will just give us 24. So that's what the answer is going to be. If you were to solve this problem, you're going to encounter issues. So I think someone was asking me one time, what if you're having minus here? Minus. Okay. First of all, if you have alpha, if you need to find alpha minus beta is alpha plus beta all squared minus 4 alpha beta. Yup, if I'm not mistaken. So that's what is going to be minus 4 alpha beta. So if your question says alpha squared minus beta squared, alpha squared minus beta squared will then become alpha plus beta, bracket, bracket, then alpha plus beta all squared minus 4 alpha beta. Okay, but don't worry, they won't ask you that. Question 19. So this is question 19. If v varies directly as the square of x, so you write that like this, v varies directly as s squared, and inversely as y, so that means over y. So using this, it means you have v equal kx squared over y, because whenever you remove this sign, you need to introduce a constant of proportionality. Now the next, we're told that v is 18, so this is 18 equal k times, s is 3, so this will be 3 squared, divided by y is 4. So this is 18 equal k times 9 over 4. So what would I do next? I can cross multiply, so put over 1 here, this will times this. So you have 1 times this will just give us k times 9, because 1 times anything is that same thing, equal 18 times 4, just leave it like that. There are some things that you don't want to expand, so just leave it like that, because I know that I'm still going to divide by 9. So to get the value of k, divide both sides by 9. Oh no, sorry, it's supposed to be this other one, not k. So this will be k equal 9 here is 1, 9 into 18 is 2. So what's left is 2 times 4, which is 8. So it means our constant of proportionality is 8. Now let's go back to the place we originally introduced k. So we know that v is equal ks squared over y. So this is v equal, k is now 8. So this is 8s squared over y. This expression is called the formula or the relationship or the law of variation. So using this formula, they said find v when s is 5 and y is 2. Now we know that v is equal 8s squared over y. So this is v equal 8 times s is what? 5. So this is 5 squared over y is 2. So this is v equal 8 times 5 squared is 25 over 2. 2 here is 1. 2 into 8 is 4. So v is equal to 100. So that will be the answer to question number 19. Now, all of these topics that I'm treating, still go back home if you have the, go back home as if you're not in your home. Sorry, you're in your home already. So still take a look at these very topics again. Take a look at these topics again. So variation, I just solved only one problem. Take a look at it again to solve other problems. Yeah. So question 20, that will be the last for today. So this question says, calculate the compound interest paid on a loan of 40,000 naira for 2 years at 10% per annum. So for a start, now compound interest, we can follow the back door. So let's get the amount first. So amount is principal into 1 plus rate to the power of time. That's the formula. That's the formula. So amount is then the principal amount is 40,000. Brackets 1 plus rate is 10%. So that's 10 over 100. Good. It's still the same. 10 over 100. Then the time is 2 years. So this is 40,000 into 1 plus 10 over 100 is 0.1. Then you put your squared. And this is 40,000 into 1 plus this is 1.1 squared. So this is 40,000 times. Now I know that 11, let me say the point is not here. 11 squared is 121. So this means that 1.1 squared is, 1.1 squared is 1.21. I know that for sure. So now I'm going to times everything here by 4. So that will give me 484. 2 zeros, yeah. This is what I'm going to get when I multiply, because these 2 zeros here will knock out some guys. So this is what you're going to be getting, 48,400. Yeah. So now let's get our interest. So the compound interest CI is the amount minus principal. So the amount we had was 48,400 minus the principal is 40,000 naira. So when you do this subtraction, you're going to have 8,400. So that will become your compound interest. And with this, we're going to end this very video. I'm going to see you in the next one. Remember to hit the subscribe button. Share this video to every single person. Put it in your contact, and every student should know that there's a video like this. I'll see you guys in the next series. Bye for now.